Hello soulmates, welcome to today's tutorial. In today's episode we are going to be discussing how to draft and make this beautiful outfit I'm putting on here. We are going to be sewing it using inseam finishing, okay, and of course attaching an invisible pocket by the side. Okay, as you can see, it's beautiful, it's lovely. If it's something you would want to learn, don't go anywhere, stay with me. I actually made this beautiful outfit with 1.5 yard of fabric and I'm hip 50. Join me and see how to manage your fabric, how to make something beautiful even though you have just a little fabric with you. So let's go, guys. Thank you. And don't forget to tell me who is dancing better, the lady on the left, right, or middle. So guys, what I'm having here is a 1.5 yard of African print. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to fold it into two. This is two. Then I'll fold again into 4 places. I'll arrange everything out. It's actually a small pieces of fabric I saw in my bag that I've kept for a long time, so I decided to use it for this tutorial. So this is it folded out into 4. It's not going to have a zipper at the back, and we are going to cut the shoulder and we are going to cut the front and the back together. So the first thing we are going to roll here is this. It's not all aligning here. Can you see this one is longer, shorter? So I have to roll a line here, making sure everything is equal. So I can as well just trim it out. You have to keep your hand straight enough. So this is what we have now, okay, and this is going to be the down part. It will come this way, and it's an off shoulder gown like you saw on the thumbnail. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to rule out here is my hemming allowance of 2 inches. 2 inches. So every measurement will end here. Okay. Now the length I'm working with is 39. I'm placing 39 on this hemming allowance. Okay. To place all my horizontal measurements. Over here, I'm going to be offing it by 4. So this is 4. We are not starting from here. It's an off shoulder. I off by 4. Okay. I place my bust point of 11. My waist of 16. My hip line of 23. And this is the full length of 29. I'll repeat the same thing here. This is 4, this is 11, this is 16, 23, full length of 29. Then I'll connect all the points, the hip line, the waistline, the bust points, and the shoulder line. Okay, so this is what we are having. Okay, the next thing I'm going to be placing is on this chest line. I'll place my bust circumference divided by 4, which will give me 11. This is 11. My waist is 10. I think I'm going to ignore this waist at the end of the day. My hip is 12.5. I'm just left with 1 inch, meaning I'm going to use everything. I'll equally place my hip over here, 12.5. Let's connect the points. Like I said, I might decide to ignore this waistline. Watch what I'm doing. Are you seeing that? It's going to be very quick. It's an easy tutorial. Then I'll connect this without allowance yet. Is that okay? But if you watch what we are having here, we don't have much allowance. What I have left here is 1 inch. So I'm going to be using 1 inch allowance at the waist. I'll sew with 1/2 inch and use 1/2 inch for ease. Then down here, I will equally make use of 1 inch. Okay, so it's going to be everything for this part. Is optional if you want to shape your waist region this way. If you don't want to shape it, you will go this way. You will connect from the chest line to the hip this way. In that way, here will be free. Okay, so on the bust area, I'm going to add 1.5. Then I'll connect it. Should we shape here or leave it free? If we are not shaping it with the allowance, it's going to come this way, straight this way. If you don't want to shape it out, at times, if you want to shape it out but not exactly with your measurements, you can just come in here by 1/2 inch or 1 inch, like I came in now with 1 inch, and you will connect it like this. And like so. So it's totally dependent on you. Now over here to the shoulder, there are 2 things you can do at the shoulder. Firstly, you're going to determine if the shoulder is going to be having a gather. Maybe you are attaching an elastic or not. Okay, if you're not attaching an elastic, you're going to use your exact shoulder divided by 2. Remember, it's an off shoulder, so you are going to measure from one end of your your armpit area to the other end of the armpit. That is the shoulder we are using here. Okay, so but if you're going to be putting an elastic, it means you will be adding an allowance. If I was not to use an elastic, I'll make use of 7 inches and it will come here. I'll add 1/2 inch for sewing and it will be here. Is that okay? But I'm making use of elastic. So this is my 7. I will determine how many inches more I would want to add. Let me say 4 inches, which is here. Okay, so the next I'm going to place is the armhole depth. You place your tape like this. Remember, we removed 4. My armhole is 8, which is here. This is 8. Okay, so what you're going to do is to slant from this place towards the armhole. You are to extend this point here now, this chest line. You extend it this way, then you will slant. Is my shock even showing? Are you seeing clearly? Okay, I believe you can see the white chalk. So I'll connect it like this. with a slanted line. Can you see what we are having? Now, you equally have the option of leaving the neck region this way, or you can trim it a little. You can decide to come down by 2, maybe for the front, and you connect it back like this. In this way, that means you went down by 6. Remember, we offed by 4 already. Coming down by 2 again means going down by 6. I'm not going to work with this. I want mine to be straight. If you only want to make a sweetheart, you can do it here as well. Any kind of neck you want is obtainable here. How deep you want it is possible. Totally dependent on what you're making. But for me, I want it straight. So we are going to cut it out straight. Let's start from here. I will open up this other one. Remember, this one is closed. Then I will cut. Okay, so watch this region. So this is what we are having at the moment. Can you see I trimmed the waist region just a little? You can trim it down more depending on what you want to achieve. So this is what we are having at this point. Are you seeing that? One is for the front and the other is for the back. It is that simple. Now you're going to determine if you'll be using a lining. Of course, I'll be making use of this lining. I'm going to cut it exactly the same way, but the lining will be shorter. The lining is going to be shorter than the main fabric. So I will fold this. I'll bring the fabric. I'll place it. I'll fold it back into 2. You know, I opened it up earlier. I'll place it on the fabric, on the lining. Make sure you arrange it out properly. So after arranging it out, we cut. Note, they are exactly the same length at this point, but I'm going to reduce the lining after cutting. This outfit is going to have a pocket, and my pocket is going to start from 2 inches after the waist. It's going to start from 2 inches after the waistline. 2 inches after the waistline, which is 10 inches from my under armhole. Take notes. So the next, I will remove this, then I will reduce the lining by 1.5. I'll reduce the lining by 1.5. Then I'll cut. So as you can see, the lining is shorter. Now we are going over to the sewing machine. This is what I have left. I think I'm going to just have to attach a rope here. I don't know what I will do for the sleeve. I might just attach a rope here that I will tie, and attach a rope here. I might just, in fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slit this into two. That's what I am gonna do. Let me just cut it. So I've cut it into two. I measure what I have in all, 8. I'll get 4. 4. 4 inches. I'll roll it like this. That means when I fold it into 2, I'll be having 2 inches. When I sew with 1/2 inch, I'll be having 1.5. Okay, so I'll cut. You will ask me the length. The length is totally dependent on you. After tying it, the quantity you would want to drop, that will guide you to know the length. For me, I'll make use of all of the lengths I have here. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. This is the outfit. It's going to have a rope here, a rope here. Don't worry, we are going over to the sewing machine now so that I show us how we are going to go about the sewing process. We are here on the sewing machine. Okay, I'm going to first of all sew the lining by the side separately. Remember, we added 1 inch and I said I'll be sewing with 1/2 inch. So I'm going to sew by the side of the lining with 1/2 inch on both sides. Do same for the main outfit using 1/2 inch. I'm joining with 1/2 inch. I've sewn this side. I'll equally join with 1/2 inch. The other side, that's the side seams, 1/2 inch. So that is it. Bring the main outfit, join with 1/2 inch on the side seams, good side facing each other. Then I'm sewing on the wrong side. I'm sewing from the hem towards the armhole. I'll flip over to the second side of the side seam and equally join it using 1/2 inch. So I'm done sewing on the side seams for both the lining and the main outfits. Let me show us the next thing we are going to do. So like I said, I sewed it using 1/2 inch on the side seams. Can you see that? I sewed with 1/2 inch on this side, 1/2 inch on this side. Equally on the lining, I sewed with 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch on this other side. So now see the next thing we are going to do. This is the wrong side. This is the right side of the fabric inside, okay? And this is the hemline. This is the wrong side of the fabric, of the lining, and this is the good side. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick the main outfit. This is the good side. I'll bring the lining and match it good side to good side. Can you see? I am now going to sew on top of here. The side seam I want it to align. I'll open it up like so. Sorry, I'm supposed to press open, but I'll just open it up with my hand. I'll open up the lining as well with my hand. I will match it good side to good side, and I'm going to sew it round like this. Let's go to the sewing machine. Let me show you. So over here on the sewing machine, I said I will align it. This is the good side of the fabric. I'll pick the good side of the lining. This area is the hem parts. I will align it good side to good side like this. Then I'm going to sew on the wrong side. Watch what I'll do. Let's do it together, guys. I'm sewing with 1/2 inch. I've gotten to the second side seam and I'll have to open it up as well, just with where we did for the other side. And I'm back to where I started from. Then I'll close the stitch. So see what we are having, guys. Okay, if you want to flip over to the good side, can we see it, or should I go to the table? Let me go to the table. So this is what we have done. Can you see the sewing? If you want to flip it over, you will just do it like this. Let me bring it out so that you understand what I did now. So see what I did now. Let me show us the rungs, the lining parts. We are trying to couple this outfit using inseam finishing. Inseam finishing. See what we are having. We've not ironed it out. Can you see that? Can you see the hem? See the side. Looking all neat. Okay, but remember, we'll still have this part open. We still have this part open, and for that we are still going to bring it out to the wrong side. Okay, and we are going to match it like this. Watch, this is straight, this is front, the wrong side of the front fabric, the wrong side of the front lining. I'll bring them together like this, and I'm going to sew this upper part using 1/2 inch. I'm going to sew it using 1/2 inch for this side. When I'm done, I'll gently bring these two together as well. and sew using half of an inch. But let's go over to the sewing machine. Let me show you what I mean. You can equally do it like this. If it is this way, the way it is now, wrong side, good side, good side. If it is like so, you can pick it up like this. You will turn it out this way and you sew. Let's go over to the sewing machine. Let me try explaining it here again. This is the good side, the good side. The wrong sides are inside, okay? And we wouldn't want to just sew on it like this. If we do, it means our sewing is going to reflect on the good side. So what I said we are going to do is this. If you pick it up like this, it means wrong side is facing wrong side. And when you sew, you are sewing on the good side, which we don't want. So we are carefully going to pick it up like this. Pick this one like this and flip it this way. Okay? Then when we are sewing, you're going to be drawing this one out. I believe we understand. In that way, we will sew on the wrong side. Let's go over to the sewing machine. So this is what we are having. Like I said, this good side, and we don't want to sew on the good side. So I'll pick them like this. I'll flip them over this way. Okay, this way means wrong side on wrong side. But when I pick it like this and reverse my hand this way, it will now be good side facing good side. I'll reverse my hand like so, and I will sew using half of an inch. Inseam finishing is always a little more stressful to the regular kind of sewing, but it looks more neater and more professional. We don't have to keep avoiding it. You need to keep practicing it till it becomes a part of you. So watch what I'm gonna be doing. I'm sewing with half of an inch. Yes, so we are done with these parts. Let me cut off the threads. Can you see? We are done with it. When you're done, you put your hand like this and you bring it out. You know, I left it straight. If I had used the second neckline, the one I came down by 2, that is a bit curvy, I would have to notch. But because it's straight, whether I notch or not, is going to lap, is going to align well. So I'll just put my hand here and I will turn it out. Can you see what we are having on the good side? Looking all neat. So this is what we are having on the good side. So we are going to repeat. See, the second part is still open. We are going to repeat exactly the same thing we did. We are not sewing on the armhole area yet. The armhole is still open. We are going to find a way to finish it up, because we are going to pass our elastic through it, and we'll have the rope we want to use for the sleeve. We'll equally attach somewhere here. So we'll repeat the same process. This is the good side, this is the good side. At this point, wrong side is facing wrong side, which is not what we want. We want good side to face good side. So you pick the two ends like this, and you reverse your hand this way. Can you see? Then you place on your machine and you start sewing using 1/2 of an inch. So I'm done. Cut off the threads, put my hand inside here, flip it this way, and boom, this is what we are having. Looking neat. See the back, the wrong side is looking so neat. Inseam finishing is always beautiful. The next we are supposed to do here is to go over to our ironing table. But before we do that, remember the strap we'll cut out for the rope I said will be attaching to the sleeve as the sleeve. Okay, so we are going to sew it. Remember, it's 4 inch. Sorry, it's 4 inches. I said if we fold into 2, we are having 2 inches. I will sew with 1.5 with 1/2 inches, and we'll be left with 1.5. The wideness is a choice. 1.5 is not actually my best, but this is the only thing I have left on my fabric, so I have to make use of that. So I'm sewing the ends like this. So I've gone ahead to sew the 4 of them. I'm going to use this, my screwdriver, to turn them all inside out, cutting off all my excess threads. Then I'll pick one end like this, push it in using my screwdriver, when it's out here, you will draw it out like this, and this is okay. I'll repeat it for all. So over to the ironing table, guys. I'll iron it out and show us. So I've gone ahead to I've gone ahead to iron it out. See the wrong side? Can you see that? Can you see why it's good for the lining to be shorter? The main fabric came in by 1.5. You know, I left 2 inches. Then I reduced the lining by 1.5 with the remaining half. That's 2 inches minus half that I used to sew it here. I have 1.5 left here. So this is the wrong side. Oh my god, Inseam finishing is a bay. It's the best always. But this outfit is looking incomplete for me without an invisible pocket. So this is the right side. This is the side seam. Can you see? Very beautiful. And this is the upper part. We are not done. Remember, we are going to be adding an elastic. I will either use a 0.5. Sorry, let me come with it. I will use any of this elastic. This is 1 inch. This is half inch. Half inch, 1 inch. Which one do we use? Which one do we use? Should I use? I think I might be using this. But let's keep going. I'm going to show us. So I've ironed it, and for our sleeves, the straps that will be serving as our lip strips, I've ironed it out. Can you see? See the part I sewed. I iron it out to be in the middle. The part I sewed for the 4 of them. For the 4 of them. So guys, I would want this outfit to have a pocket. My fabric is finished. I need to figure something out. Okay, but I don't want this video to be too long. I'll figure something out. This thing needs to have a pocket. Let's proceed. So the next we are gonna do now is this. On this upper region that will be having an elastic, you're going to determine, is this if you're using this 1 inch elastic, I mean half inch, it means you will run a stitch on 1/2 inch. Can you see? Half inch, such that you can insert this elastic into it. Then if you want to use this other one, this one is 1 inch. Can you see? Is 1 inch. It means you have to run a stitch on 1 inch. 1 inch, so that you can insert this. I want to use this one. I want to use this one, so I will sew on 1 inch. I will sew on 1 inch. Are you seeing what I'm doing? You don't necessarily have to do this. Just for this tutorial, I'm showing you. I know 1/2 inch on this mesh. I know 1 inch on this machine. From this mouth of the machine to here is 1 inch. Okay, this is quarter, this is half, 3/4 of an inch, this is 1 inch. I know. I have my tape rule. I know. I can gauge it with my eyes. If you cannot, or you're not using this kind of machine, just place your elastic like this and mark. Are you seeing what we have? So I'm going to sew on the marked line. So I've sewn on the marked line. Can you see? Can you see? 1 inch. I will do same thing here. Okay, I'm going to do same thing over here if you like. Okay, because we are using the marking process, let's mark again. I wanted to just sew it straight up, but let's mark. So this is done. Can we see that? It's done right round. The next we are going to do is to attach the band. Now you're going to know the quantity you need from one side of your, let me show you something. See this outfit I have here. Can you see this outfit? So this elastic we are talking about is going to run from here, like in a human body, from here to here. So on your body you're going to measure like this. What you have is what you will cut for the front. You will equally turn the back, your client's back, and you measure like this. What you have is the quantity of elastic you will make use of. As you can see, it's wider. Remember, during drafting we added XX, like 4 or 5 inches extra. So when you cut out your exact measurements of elastic, it will bring it together and it will fit. Okay, so let's continue. So we are going to insert the elastic using this safety pin. You put it in like this, then you will pass it into this you're sewing, making sure it's laying flat. Don't allow it to twist. It must be flat. Don't allow it to twist. When I bring it out here, I'll top stitch on it. So after top stitching, I can remove the safety pin. It's not firm enough. Let me top stitch again. Okay, so this is what we are having. And my own measurement, like I showed us, is this. See, before I started, I put, where is it? Okay, that's it. This is my mark. This should be okay for me. This is 14 inches that I measured here. So that is where mine will stop. From one end of my armhole to the other, at the region where I told us to measure, mine is 14. So this is mine. I'm going to top stitch it again over here, and I'll cut out. So this is what I have for now. I'm going to sew on top of it. It's actually optional, but if you have a matching thread, it makes it more beautiful. Running a stitch. Do you think if I run another white stitch on it, it will be nice? It might be. Let's see, but let's proceed. Let's insert the elastic for this other side. Okay, like I said, I would always measure. My front is 14, my back is supposed to be 13, I'm leaving it out for. I'll make a mark. I don't like cutting it out before putting it inside, so I'll start inserting, making sure it does not bend. And this is what we are having now. I've not cut this one. This is, can you see it has brought it to be smaller. The next thing we're almost done with this tutorial, is how to finish hair up, which we are going to be requiring a bias tape. I'm going to finish it up using this bias tape. And don't forget to still have the straps. Okay, one of the strap, we are going to attach the straps at this point. Now these straps can be attached. I'll show us two ways. If you want to be tying it on top of your shoulder, like on top of the shoulder here, you get, you want to tie it on top of the shoulder, you will attach it here. You attach it here. That way you have to search them out. You attach it here so you can tie it on top of your shoulder. That's, you put one here, the second one come here, they come together on top of your shoulder. Then if you want to attach it by the side of your arm, can we see? By the side of your arm, you will attach it here. One here, one here. Which will be better? Let me not alter the style that has been in my mind. We are going to attach it by the side, but before then, let me run a stitch on this stitch here. Okay, and please, if you're running this stitch, I'm running it in the middle. Remember to be pulling the elastic. I don't like this white thread though. The white thread, do you think is fine? I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it. But if you had a matching thread, it's always beautiful. Yes, it's always more beautiful to this, but because the thread is not matching, I don't like it, so I'll rip it off. What we are going to do now is this. I'll bring one of the straps and I will place it here. I will run a stitch. I will place another one, run a stitch, and do same for this side. I'll be showing us as I do them. See the side I joined? It is facing upward, such that when I flip it like this, it will be on the inside. Believe we understand. So I'm going to sew using 1/2 inch. So I'll cut it out, this excess, and this is what we will have. Can we see that? I'll repeat same for here. So these two will be like this. I'll repeat same for this side. We are having the 4 strips fixed. Can you see how it's looking? The 4 is fixed. So we'll have one more last thing to do, then iron, and we are done. And that is making use of our bias tape to serge this one and only rough edge to make everything looking all neat. And to do that, we are going to go this way. This is the good side. I'll bring my bias tape like this. Watch how I will neatly tape it down using this bias tape. Watch. Can you see a bias the way it comes? This is the right side of a bias. This is the wrong side. The side that is folded this way is the wrong side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, this is the good side of my fabric. I'll face it the good side of the bias, facing the good side of the material this way, with this XX pulled out like this. Then I'll bend the XX this way. Remember, I'm sewing where you sew is, if you raise this line, I'm sewing on this first line, this first fold of the bias. Okay, so it's more like I'll place it like this, then I will raise it this way. Can you see? I opened up so that I will see where to sew on. Then I'll flip it round like this, put it on my sewing machine, and we are going to start sewing. Hope we can see that. So it's going to end here, but I'll come out a little so that I can fold it behind the way I did for the other one. I'll cut. Can you see the XX I'm having? So I'm going to fold it behind the way I did at the beginning. Then I'll continue sewing. So this is what I have after the first sewing. Okay, so after this, the next you will do is you will pull it up like this. See that little one I turned inside? You bring it out like this. Can you see? You equally bring out this other end. Can you see? And you'll be having something like this. See this other fold here? You open it up, close it this way, bend it over like so. I don't know if you saw what I did. I'll come again, this, then I'll bend it over like this. I'm going to remove my strap. This strap, I will remove it. Be careful not to sew on it. 1, then 2. I'm sewing like this. I'll keep sewing, sew and sew. You might consider trimming down this part a little, this side that is looking rough. So let's go on and sew. Can you see that? Like so. When I get here, I'll remove this other strap too. Then I'll continue sewing. And done for this side. So this is the good side, this is the wrong side, these are the straps. Sorry, I'm here to finish up this part of the strap. I'll tuck it in like this. I'll tuck it in like this and I'll sew. This is one out of the so many ways you can do it. I forgot, this is not the best way. The best way is to turn one end. That time we'll sew it before turning out and ironing. That's the best way, it's neater. But because I forgot then, I have to just do this now. This is my white thread. Should be making use of navy blue thread. So now that I'm done with this, I'll equally bias this side of the outfit just the way we did earlier. For the other side, we are going to repeat same process here. This is the good side facing upward, the good side of the bias facing the good side of the outfit. Pull out a little this way, flip it over like this, then sew. Then I will do it the same way I did for the other one. Raise this, raise this, turn it over this way, then bend it over, pull out my strap, the wrong side, the right side, so I'll go and iron it out and try it on to show you.